Okay, I'm currently working on an entirely different video about hefty connections between a massive crypto project, it's Celsius, and a 2021 debacle, I guess is the right word, where tens of millions of dollars just got lost because crypto is amazing and totally functional, but I'll save that for the next video. Anyway, while working on that, I got forwarded a link to this, which appears to be some sort of Epstein level doomsday dead drop for the crypto community. Diving right in, here's what happened thus far. At 11:55 p.m. Eastern, July 6th, a user going by the name adyingnobody posted a manifesto on Twitter. This manifesto contained a lot of accusations, but for the sake of clarity and time, I'll just summarize things. The user is, as their name might suggest, allegedly dying, but rather than go gently into that good night, they will rage against the dying of the light. Congratulations to anyone who got the reference. This user claims, in no uncertain terms, that they found a vulnerability in Telegram, which then allowed them to preview as well as store private group chat messages, and over time, they turned this activity into a sort of hobby, effectively spying on a whole bunch of crypto chats. It is their claim that over 130 gigabytes of data in a zip file will be released in staggered increments, the 15th of June, the 30th of June, and the 7th of July, I believe. But access will only be given to those who interact with a specific crypto wallet. Until these dates, the files are password protected, and this actually matters when we look at the overall security of what is happening. There are very serious allegations here. Adyingnobody claims directly that they possess Telegram records of not one, not two, but 3 premeditated assassinations. They claim that there are illegal sexual encounters that were planned, bragged about, and discussed in these chat rooms. They claim that they hold information on crypto influencers that have millions of followers as they planned, executed, and are continuing to propagate various scams or rug pulls. That's not even the end. There's much more to this initial thread that could be discussed right now, but for anyone who wants to read it themselves, I'll link it down below in the description. My point is that an anonymous account, an account that now has almost 40,000 followers in about a day, signed on, posted a manifesto, made some incredibly serious allegations, and provided a password-protected file that is allegedly going to dead drop all of this info in staggered increments over the next month. If all or even some of this info is true, the crypto community will be in absolute chaos, and for what it's worth, I'm intending to collaborate with Callum Upton, an excellent YouTuber who covers a variety of topics, go check him out, I'll link it down below, if the info is actually released. He has a team of blockchain researchers who help him with various different topics. I myself have a bit of experience poring over extensive records and piecing together data, messages, or bits of information, and if any of this is true, we will be working on analyzing what is released as best we can. The method will be pretty simple for me personally. Grab a very cheap burner laptop from Best Buy, download the files there with literally nothing else on the machine to compromise, if it were to be malware, which is very possible, and then get started analyzing. I'm sure there are other ways to do this, but having that kind of airtight security is appealing to me, and I just want to put it out there that myself and Callum Upton have already discussed a bit of a plan. There are people ready to dig in, and again, if any of this at all, any of it is real, and this video tracks back to the person who allegedly has the information, I would very much like to look through it. If you can provide me the key or reach out to me, my email is down below, anything really, just I'd like to talk. However, and this is where things take a much darker turn, what are the chances of this actually being real? My gut tells me not very high, but again, there's no way for me to be entirely sure until the dead drop actually occurs, or I'm given the password. That's the short answer. I'm skeptical. However, the long answer is probably a bit more interesting. For starters, this isn't the first time a situation like this has occurred. It's not precisely similar, but in June of 2021, John McAfee, a very famous crypto personality, computer programmer, and controversial figure, to say the very least, died under mysterious circumstances. Now, that by itself wouldn't necessarily be something to look at, but before his death, McAfee was notoriously saying that if he died, he didn't do it to himself. He got a tattoo of the word schwacked on his shoulder and essentially fueled the conspiracy theory that he had information to a point where very powerful people wanted to have him killed or were willing to do it. In the aftermath of his death, speculation ran wild about a dead man switch that may have been created where info would be dropped, resulting in massive jail time for a multitude of very powerful figures. After a bit of excitement, such as a Q post on his Instagram, a flurry of activity from a long dormant token contract, or a website that popped up for a couple of days that said contingency plan activated, everything got quiet. Nothing was released, no one was arrested, and the world, generally speaking, moved on. As I said, not exactly the same, but an example where the community had a noticeable appetite for speculation with regards to sensitive information being released to the public that might dramatically impact the industry. Let's put it that way. When it comes to this more recent thread, well, there are a couple of details that I find alarming. For starters, most antivirus software does not scan files over 100 gigs. And going even further, nearly all standard antivirus software does not scan password-protected files either. This is a greater than 100 gig file size that is password protected, aka it's a double whammy. It's not getting scanned by traditional out-of-the-box antivirus, and anyone downloading this should be incredibly careful. Next, the entire thread is predicated on the idea that adyingnobody was able to exploit a vulnerability in Telegram, the messaging service, to get this information. But Telegram itself has come out with a statement that is categorical in nature and denies any possibility whatsoever that this thread could ever be true. I did my best to dig into existing Telegram exploits and records. I've gotten feedback from a few programmers as well on the subject, and while there are a couple of vulnerabilities that could be used to do something vaguely similar, those vulnerabilities were dealt with many months ago, or so it seems, which would not accurately line up with the timeline proposed in adyingnobody's thread. At the same time, there are individuals on Twitter who claim that this exploit is real, that they have used it themselves, and who seem to base a significant portion of their reputation on credibility in the InfoSec space. The thing is, for every endorsement, there is a dispute. Other self-professed security analysts and researchers are in staunch denial of its authenticity, so yeah, it's not exactly clear. I am not qualified, at least on a personal level, to make a determination on this part. It's murky at best and thoroughly disputed by Telegram, the company, as to whether or not the information would have even been possible to get, let alone what it might contain. The question needs to be asked, why announce all of this, and then wait weeks before full release? Why tantalize the community with this possible bombshell? Right, really, actually, this is Epstein level. Like, this is huge. If this is real, this is one of the, 3 assassinations? That's incredible. So why do it? Why tantalize the community with the bombshell if you're truly running out of time on planet Earth, instead of simply just dropping the information all at once like you say you want to do? The answer could be any number of things, like perhaps the idea that they are looking for some sort of payoff or bribe, or they merely intend to shake the tree, witnessing which crypto personalities panic and delete their profiles or run for cover, thus incriminating themselves as having something to hide. But I find myself gravitating towards something else. What if this is a viral method of spreading malware, or compiling a list of addresses that interacted with the posted wallet in order to get the information in the first place? Crypto is littered with phishing scams, malware, keyloggers, and any number of more or less sophisticated methods to rob unsuspecting victims. It is entirely possible that this is a well-crafted, dramatic, and precisely calibrated ploy to infect a large number of computers. Even better, maybe it's a psyop to get anti-crypto personalities and journalists to download a malicious payload. Who knows, but the risk here is truly astronomical. As an example, though it's true there is no way to actually verify if this person is who they claim to be, anyone can send something like this and write whatever they want. There appears to be a transaction discovered by a crypto forensic analyst in Callum Upton's Discord server, who does excellent work, by the way. I'm going to link his YouTube channel down below as well. He and I are chatting later about another topic in addition to all this. Hint, it's the Celsius topic. But there appears to be a transaction from a Washington Post journalist who is attempting to access the information or be placed on whatever waiting list is being created for that purpose in order to cover the story. It appears that this thread has gone mainstream. People are talking about it all over. And not everyone is going to be careful enough to buy a burner laptop instead of just downloading the file. If this package is malware or some sort of malicious program, it will work on at least some of the people who have seen it, which turns this into one of two things. Either A, this is a horrifying but necessary info dump in the making that will quite literally expose capital murder, untold additional crimes, and completely eviscerate the entire crypto community. Or B, this is yet another attack against the crypto space by some sort of bad faith actor that has gone viral and now dominates the social media news cycle in an industry that is already struggling every day for credibility or any sort of authenticity, hampered and hindered by frequent attacks, security breaches, scandals, and arrests. No matter the outcome, it's already a very bad look for Web3 and crypto. A community that prides itself on security and personal accountability ownership is overrun with what amounts to a random account posting a string of claims that are totally impossible to verify at this point in time, advertising a drip-fed info dump through a massive file that very well might contain malware, is twice constructed, either coincidentally or on purpose, to avoid security measures. And while I desperately want this to be real, we all know this kind of thing, or at least general high-level criminal activities rampant in crypto, we have no way to know if this is the moment where it all gets exposed. We really just can't know for sure at this point in time. Like I said, I'm watching like a hawk for further developments. I'm ready to go. I'm sitting here ready to go right now. There are a bunch of other people ready to dive in as well. And between us, I think we have a really good shot at compiling and publicizing this info if, and that's a big if it is real and if we get access. But yeah, that's it. If you want to support, there are links down below, primarily locals and Patreon if you want to check those out. It's a monthly fee. There is a YouTube platform alternative called Odyssey, a few other YouTubers to look at, merchandise, social media, etc., etc. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.